Hello, this is Ann Hernandez. I'm talking about literacy hints and tips from TNL 523 today. This is a presentation possibly made to my director. In hints and tips today, we're talking about reading, writing, and resources. Resources for reading, for writing, for both, and the TTMS org by that Steve Pihas. Reading. For extents, what we did in class is we talked a lot about different resources, different things that students read. One was extensive reading. Students need to be able to select their own books. I know here we send the student to the library, tell them to go get a book. Okay, did they choose it just simply by topic? Did they make sure that they could read it? Or did the instructor take a quick look to make sure that it only contained a few unknown words? Are they enjoying the book, or is the book really kind of tough? Because if a student is going to read, they need to be able to enjoy the book, they need to have a topic that they like, and they need to know most of the words. And then when you get to comprehension questions on a test, the one thing Nation said is comprehending the question should be easier than comprehending the text. So the question is, do we write the questions for our exams, our comprehension exams? Are they easy to understand? Are we really grading them for comprehension? Or are we grading them for grammar and writing skill too? So have we impacted or distorted our ability to understand what they're really comprehending because we're looking at their grammar and writing skill and not really whether they understood what they read? Furthermore, in reading, some cultures don't encourage reading. Dr. Walker made a point of telling us about this. Some students, especially like the Arabic students, their culture doesn't do a lot of talking about reading. Did you read a good book? Have you done this? So my question is, are the students who are having problems in reading coming from this type of culture? Is the culture impacting it? So if it's a cultural issue, are we addressing this cultural issue correctly? Or is there something we may need to change in our process of addressing this? Then one other thing is reading out aloud to a partner or instructor. Nation suggested this. Dr. Walker said that the popcorn reading, or you read around the room, that the reading aloud like that is not appropriate or not approved. It says research indicates that reading aloud around the class is not appropriate for ESL students. Chorus reading would be another alternative. Everybody reads at the same time, but you have to be careful. Some of those students don't like to read out loud. So what are we doing in this program to provide for our students? This is writing, and research indicates 6 parts to good writing. There's the idea section, where writing has an important message. And this is part of the thing is that we ask the students, does your writing have an important message? Did you include a lot of details? Why did you write it other than you were assigned this? Is there a reason you chose this topic? The organization part here goes in and talks about how is it put in together? How does the order go together? Do you have a good beginning? Do you have a good ending? Did your beginning capture somebody? Was it like the worm on a hook where somebody got caught and they went, oh, this is good, and had to read it all the way through? And then the conclusion just really ended it correctly. Or you just have words there that don't have a real beginning or end. Those are things you'll ask your students. Then when you have voice, you want to ask, do you like this piece? Will your audience like what you wrote? Do you really care about your topic? Can I feel that you care? When it comes to word choice, you want to make sure the student understands. Do they know the words that they use? Do they understand the words, or do they just go get one in the dictionary that they really can't understand? Are there some words or the way you put the words together that cause people to remember something? And did they say what you want them to say? Then when you go to sentence fluency, the questions you'll ask is, do the sentences sound correctly? Which words sound better? Is it easy to read with lots of expression, with a lot of feeling in there? And then conventions. Conventions, they have grouped the capitalization, punctuation, grammar, and spelling all in one group called conventions on this. So did you capitalize it correctly? Is it punctuated correctly? I tell my students, did you put a stop sign at the end? And with grammar, did you use the correct form of the verb? Does your subject agree with your verb agree? Then spelling, have you double checked some of your spelling? The really good sources on the bottom are the TTMS.org, and also there's a scoring report from the Oregon State, which is excellent too. Writing. Going on to slide 2, what are we doing here? What are our choices here? I know we use graphic organizers to assist students in organizing their writing. The rubrics appear to emphasize conventions. Have we put too much emphasis on conventions, though? I'm thinking we might. Do we have enough emphasis on word choice and sentence fluency? Note, research indicates that ESL students need assistance with these two writing areas. That would be word choice and sentence fluency. The next few slides are going to be the resource slides. There's reading, writing, literacy, reading and writing. Then there's the TTMS.org, Steve Pia's Teaching That Makes Sense. Resources for reading and is you have the Reader's Theater. There's an how-to section Dr. Walker provided. There's Elkanan box strategy plus others at the Reading Rockets. These are adaptable ideas that for any level that you want to teach. Then there's working with words with that Wordle where you can turn around typing the words and you can check your spelling, but you have somewhat of a fun project when you get done. Then there's vocabulary, Marzano's 6-step process and how to improve their vocabulary and do the vocabulary notebooks. You have resources for writing, the 10 most common ESL writing errors. Dartmouth has a document for tutors that are working with ESL students on writing. And it has some extremely good ideas, including the 10 most common ESL writing errors. There's a test writing calibration or scoring ability that provided by Oregon Department of Education. They not only have the guide and the link is provided, but they also have the capability that you can calibrate against somebody else at that. So you can kind of see where you're at do a comparison between how you're scoring versus how somebody scored it for them. The resources, the literacy resources, Arkansas State University's library provides electronic resources, including a copy of Nation's 2008 version of Teaching ESL-EFL. There's also various other reading and writing resources. There's the readwritethink.org and Time for Kids by Time Magazine. All of these are excellent resources and can be adapted for the ESL students. And then you've got the TTMS.org, which is Teaching That Makes Sense by Steve Pia, and it's just full of ideas. My favorite is the Organizer. This is for both reading and writing. It has just some very high-level things, some very good things, and there's also more ideas on the website. Hints and tips. We've talked about reading, writing, and the resources for reading, writing both, and the TTMS.org by Steve Piha. Here's the reference list. If you have questions, there's more references too, but if you have other questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. Have a great day.